Hey guys, and welcome back to the Sacred Shooter channel. Today we're doing something a little different. Today we're going to try and rebuild Manchester United on eafc 24. Now, as we've all seen this season, United have been on a bit of a poor form. Only in I think 6th at the minute. So yeah, nothing as what they used to be back in 2013 when Alex Ferguson was at the club. But today we're going to try and restore some former glory. Let's see how we get on. During this rebuild, we're going to have some clear-cut objectives. So obviously, United haven't won a Premier League since 2013, before Alex Ferguson retired. So objective 1, win the Premier League. Objective number 2 is to win the Champions League, because we haven't done that for a very long time. Number 3 would be an FA Cup. We haven't won one of them in a while. Not too fussed about the Carabao Cup. We won one of them last year. Another objective would be to bring in some high-profile players, some rising talents, and some of the world's best players in order to rebuild the strongest team. With that being said, before we get started with this rebuild, if you enjoy this video and want to see more, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment of which team you'd like me to rebuild next. Maybe the team that you pick might be for you. But anyway, on with the rebuild. Okay, here we go.
A warm welcome to you all. Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce
in front of the cameras, new Man United manager coming through. Hopefully we're going to be something special at this club. Hopefully win everything and complete our season objectives. But first of all, we've got to set our tactical vision of the club. I have decided to go with some counter-attacking football, because hopefully the players we sign to go up front, and hopefully left back and right back, will have some pace to them. And hopefully if we catch you guys know what counter-attacking is. You get the ball at the back and quickly attack forwards. So hopefully our players can pull this off. Okay, so this is our initial lineup. We've got Onana in nets, Varane and Martin at the back, Dalot and Luke Shaw as fullbacks, Mainu and Casemiro with Fernandes, and obviously Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund up front. And now the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to start loan listing and transfer listing all the players that I don't think will be of any use to us in this rebuild. So obviously players like Anthony Martial, Diallo going out on loan, loan listing. I think I'll put Tyrell Malacia on transfer list as well. And all the other players that which won't be here. So another one being Christian Eriksen, I transfer listed as well. All the players I loan listed were all the youngsters. So players like Amari Forson, Willy Kambwala, as I said, Amad Diallo. Did I say Anthony Diallo at first? Oh no, Amad Diallo was a loan list. Shola Choratier. Donny van de Beek's already on loan, but I'm going to look to move him on. Same with Jadon Sancho. I mentioned about Christian Eriksen being on loan list. I was going to put Kobe Mainu on loan at first, but I just decided against it, as he's going to be quite a big part. I also decided to transfer list Aaron Wan-Bissaka, purely because I don't think he's going to get much games. Same with Victor Lindelof and Johnny Evans. Okay, so right away we have 2 transfer offers, but unfortunately none of the players I listed. It was a transfer offer for Kobe Mainu to Bayern Munich and for Marcus Rashford to PSG. But I'm not looking to get rid of those players right now, but here we have a few more offers that have come in for the actual people I have listed. So a loan to buy offer from Bayer Leverkusen for Amad Diallo. Now here's the thing with all these loans, I'm not looking for loan to buys. I only want to send them out for short, maybe a season or 2 seasons at a time. No loan to buys, because I'm not looking to get rid of any of my youngsters. But we agreed to a 1-year loan deal for Amad Diallo to go to Bayer Leverkusen. Now we have a transfer offer for Scott McTominay to go to RC Lens for $15.5 million. So now I am willing to let Scott McTominay go, because he's just not going to get any game time, but $15.5 million isn't good enough for me. I want $18.5 million. And they agreed to it straight away. So looks like McTominay's off to Lens. Now the next one is Victor Lindelof for $15.4 million to Tottenham Hotspur. Normally I decide against selling players to big rivals, but in this case I didn't, and I wanted well, obviously, 22.5 million was a bit on the price side, but at least I didn't go to a big rival. But that's some of these offers done for now. Until we get another loan offer from one of the Milan teams. I think it's AC Milan with a loan to buy. I did look at negotiating this and just going to let Amad Diallo decide where he wants to go. Purely because I think he's going to get more game time at Bayer Leverkusen, but I'd like to give him the option if he wants to go and play in Italy, because obviously Italy is a very tough league. So we agreed on a 1-year loan deal. And then obviously Christian Eriksen has a transfer offer now for Newcastle United for 15.9 million. Again, money's a bit steep for me. Sorry, but so I'm trying to get 20.5 million, which they go for. So 20.5 million for Christian Eriksen, and I think 18.5 million for Scott McTominay. And straight away, the next day, there's another loan offer for Willy Cambuala. I don't know what I'm saying. Willy Cambuala. Obviously, it was a loan to buy. I'm only looking to loan him out for the season. So, Willy Cambuala, I can't say his name. Willy Cambuala goes out on a loan deal. And another offer for Christian Eriksen. But obviously, I've accepted the Newcastle one, so I can't then renegotiate with Sevilla. Which is a bit unfortunate because I reckon I could have tried and squeezed a bit more money. Now we have a transfer offer from Fulham for Anthony Martial for 10.4 million. 10.4 million isn't good enough to me. Let's see if we can squeeze a bit more money. Let's go for 13.6 million. No, they're sticking to their guns at 10.8. We're going to raise it a little bit to 12.8. 11.4. Again, I'm going to try and raise it a little bit to 12.3. And they were not happy with that. They do not want Anthony Martial. But so far on the transfer side of things, we're looking pretty good. Getting a load of the rubbish out. And hopefully going to have a lot of money to bring a load of good new players in. But another offer has come through this time for Tyrell Malacia from Burnley for 16.4 million. I am going to negotiate this because I'm going to see if I can get a bit more money out of them. Obviously, all of these I'm going to obviously try and get a bit more money out of, but I'm going to ask for 22.4 million, which they accept. Vincent Kompany has earned a new left back and a strong left back at that, if you ask me. Okay, so it's been a couple of days now. Amad Diallo has gone on loan, and we now have two new offers. One is Anthony Martial. It is a swap deal for Aston Villa between Callum Chambers and an additional fee of 6.5 million. I don't really want to do that player swap because one, Callum Chambers is a centre back. Two, he's 28 years old, which is quite old, and 6.5 million is nothing. It's not going to get you any money to make any other transfers. So we're going to remove the player exchange, and we are going to try and get 13.5 million. They have offered Tim Irobunam an 8.10. Again, no player swaps. We're going to lower it to 12.8 million. They again put up Tim however you say his name. We're going to lower it again to 11.9 million even. And again, they are going to look elsewhere. We cannot seem to get rid of Anthony Martial. However, we are going to reject that loan to buy option for Altay Bayindir because he is our backup keeper. If Andre Onana gets injured, we've got no one else. This looks like we've got a loan player going back. I believe that's Willy Cambuala going off onto his loan. Hopefully he has a good season. We'll check on him at the end of the season to Kasimpasa. Don't know where that is. Tyrell Malacia is also leaving the club for 22.4 million to Burnley. We are going to have a look at replacing Tyrell Malacia. We've got an A for that, as we only have Luke Shaw and a young youth squad player. And we also have a transfer officer, Aaron Bissaka, to Liverpool for 23.2 million. Normally, I would decide against, as I said when we had an offer from Spurs, just selling to a big club. But I just need Aaron Wan-Bissaka gone, and I don't think he's going to be much help over at Liverpool. So we are going to offer 34 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They counter at 23.2. We'll lower it a little bit to 30.9 million, which they accept. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka is on his way to the Scouslands of Liverpool. So it has been another couple of days and we have a transfer offer, this time for our other right back, Diogo Dalot, for 36.9 million. Now, I'm rejecting it. Keeping Dalot for another season or two because I actually quite like Diogo Dalot. But moving on forwards, Christian Eriksen departs the club for Newcastle for, was it 20.5 million? Good deal if you ask me. I think it's about time we start looking at maybe replacing some of our losses. I could have got another mil out of that deal, but oh well. We are back with another offer. They just seem to be flying in, but it's for Rafa Varane for 25.9 million to go to Feyenoord. I am willing to let Varane go. He's quite old now, and he's not going to last us as long. But I was not letting him go for 25.9 mil. Obviously, I think I went for something about 35 million, but it was rejected. And we also have another offer for Victor Lindelof for 17 million. Now, the first one I put in got rejected, but I'm going to change that to 21 million, which goes through. Victor Lindelof is on his way out of the club. We have yet another transfer offer for Anthony Martial for 10 million to go to Brighton. Now, 10 million is a little short for me, so I'm going to try and up it to 12 million. Obviously not going as high as we did. Offer a 10.7, I'm just going to accept it just to get him out the club. Anthony Martial is off to Brighton. Right, looking for our first replacement, we have decided to go by a young Spanish left back called Alejandro Balde from Barcelona. He's an 81 overall, but has the potential to become something more. I offered 57 million, they didn't want it. They wanted 71.8, I wasn't having it, so I offered 59.8 million. Again, they were not dropping their prices for some reason, so I offered 62.8 million, which they gladly accepted. Next up, we ended up signing a backup right back, and today, for this rebuild, I went for Tino Livramento from Newcastle United, as he's quite a young player, and as a backup, I think he'd do well sitting on the bench and coming off. But they wanted as a straight spot for Diogo Dalot, I think 700 and something K. But I weren't going to give him Dalot because he's my first choice. But in the end, we ended up getting him for 24 million. Here we have two more transfer offers. One being 29 million for Luke Shaw to go to Man City. I instantly rejected it. I'm not looking to sell anyone to Man City, and I'm not looking to get rid of Luke Shaw. The other one is for Victor Lindelof because unaware to my knowledge, his transfer offer with Benfica fell through. So he's now got one with Newcastle for 15.7 million. I'm not selling him for that low. I'm going to go for 21.7. Newcastle go to 18.3, but it's still too low for me. So I just go for bang on 20 million. A little bit lower than what Benfica were paying for, but it's better than whatever it was, 15. I tried to squeeze a little bit more out of them, but they weren't going for it. So I initially sold him for 18.5 million. For our next signing, we are going to try something absolutely bonkers. We are going to try and sign Vinicius Junior from Real Madrid for 164.4 million. But 184 is what they want. That is way too high for me. 164.8. They lower it down by 10 million. We're getting there, close in it down. 168 million is what I pay for him. What a signing. It is currently deadline day, but we're going to make one final transfer offer for Kolo Muani because 3 games into the season we've had 3 draws. We're off to a brilliant start in the season, but we need more goals. So 41.4 million for Kolo Muani. They want 46, but I'm going to lower that to 42.42 million, just bang on, which they accept. So Kolo Muani is a deal done on transfer deadline day. So this is going to be our Premier League lineup up until January. We've got Onana in nets, Balde, Martinez, Varane and Dalot at the back, Casemiro, Mainu and Fernandes in the middle of the park, with Rashford, Vinicius Junior and Kolo Muani up top. On the bench we've got Mason Mount, Anthony, Tino Livramento, Garnacho, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire and Rasmus Højlund. Now, I'm now going to simulate it to January, and then we're going to do the January transfer window and see how we end up then. So, see you in January. Okay, so this next bit, I'm just going to quickly explain this. So, obviously this took a couple of days to record, if you can already tell, like through my camera in the daylight. But for these next few clips, I was ill. I had a bit of a sore throat. Like, even not now, I've still got a bit of a sore throat. So I do have a sore throat. I'm a bit ill, so just ignore my voice for now. Yeah, just trying to clear that up. Right, we have made it to January. Now, let's see how we did. So, FA Cup round 3 against Hull City. Have we even played an FA Cup match yet throughout this year? I don't think we did. I think we just go straight through to round 3. No, it doesn't seem to be. Right, so we haven't played an FA Cup match yet. Let's go see where we are in the Premier League. We are in 6th place, tied with Spurs on points, but they have a higher goal difference. Arsenal at the top, Man City in 2nd, Villa in 3rd. So it kind of matches the current Premier League table. Carabao Cup, we're in the semi-finals against Liverpool. Norwich also have Man City, so if we beat that, it'll be a Man City final, I reckon. Manchester Derby final. What a final would be like last year. We beat Cheltenham 2-1 in the quarters. We beat Spurs 1-0 in round 4. Round 3, we beat Leicester 3-0. And we didn't play in the earlier rounds, so same as the FA Cup. Whilst I was showing the other leagues, I completely forgot that United were in the Champions League this year. We currently made it to the round of 16 against Antwerp. We came first in our group, despite this year, with 14 points. So we've made it to about mid-January here, and the offers haven't really been flying in. The only ones I've had were the main team offers that I weren't looking to get rid of, but we have one here who I am looking to get rid of, and it's Harry Maguire. They offered 14.6 million. I wanted, I think it was 17.8 I offered, but they wouldn't go for it. So I was trying to get about as much as I could. So I offered 15.7, but they weren't having it. Another deal has come in for Harry Maguire for 14.7 million to go to Sevilla. Again, I'm going to negotiate this because I want to get rid of him. At 14.7, I'm going to see if I can get 16.5 mil. They want 14.9. How about 16.2 mil? 14.7 with a 1%. I don't know. I don't even know what a sell-on clause is, so I'm not going to bother with any of them. Let's just stick with 14.7. It's probably the most we'll get out for an eye. We've also got one for Anthony, for Arsenal, which I'm rejecting because he's my backup winger currently. Another one for Luke Shaw for 12.7 to go to Galatasaray. Oh, and a player swap, but I'm rejecting that as well. Right, so we've made it through the end to the season 1. Nothing really else happened in August. I didn't sign anyone, and Maguire was the only one to leave. But in the Premier League, we finished 7th, 10 points behind Newcastle. You're taking the piss. It was no different to real life. An Arsenal and Newcastle semi-final. When did we go out? Round 4 replay to Fulham. Oh my god. We lost on penalties to Newcastle, to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, but 5-7 into the semi-finals against PSG. That's kind of understandable. But 7th in the Prem, and we lose to Fulham in the FA Cup. I'm finished. Right, so we're getting ready to start season 2, but the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting rid of our first player this year, and that is Mason Greenwood. obviously to avoid all the controversy, but we don't need that during the second season. I know it's not all in FIFA, but still, was it really that difficult, United? 2 million to release a contract? But looking at our budget this year is £338 million. We are going to put that to some good use this season. The next thing we'll do is we're going to look at the team that we're going to use for this season. Obviously, all our loan players have come back. Another thing though, as Luke Shaw has departed, he did get sold last season. I can't remember how much for, or whether it was during a sim. But he did get sold. So another thing is we're going to be a backup left back. I could use Brandon Williams, but I think I'm going to put him back out on loan. Sancho's come back. Diallo's come back. Pretty much everyone has come back, which means we got a bigger squad to use, which also means more players to sell. Right, so 2 offers have come in. One is for a loan to Watford for Shola Charretier. Now, I'm going to go for a loan without buy for 1 year. I'm happy with that. I'm going to split the wages 50-50. And there we go, Shola Charretier out on loan. Our next offer is for Marcus Rashford to go to Chelsea for 41.6 million. I am willing to let Rashford go only because he's having a shit season in real life and he had a shit season on the first one. But 41 million is not good enough. I'm going to go for around 60 million. Maybe dipping into the 50s a little bit. But I'm not letting him go for too little. But in the end, we decide on 58.3 million. Right, I think it's time we make our first signing. So I'm going for Eduard Camavinga from Real Madrid. And I'm going to offer 61 million. They want 65 with a 10% sell-on clause. I'm just going to go for 65 mil. 68 mil, I'm going to lower that back down to 65 mil. And they agree. Eduard Camavinga is ours. Next up, we are signing our second player of August, and it's going to be Xavi Simons to replace Marcus Rashford. I'm going to offer PSG 60 million. They want 85.6. I'm going to lower that to 65.6, the same as what I paid for Camavinga. Again, not having it. We're going to lower that again to 69.6. 75. They are not going cheap, are they? 70.1. And it's a done deal. Xavi Simons, welcome to the club. We are jumping in with a third signing of the season. This time it is a centre-back under the name of Fikayo Tomori for about 76 million. I think it was something like that, yeah. They want Camavinga and another 30 million. I've just signed him, you're not having him, mate. It was offer 76.9. They want 86 million. We're going to lower that for 79 million. And it's a done deal. We have a new centre-back partnership between Martinez and Tomori. Here we have another transfer offer, this time for one of my favourite stars at United at the minute, the mighty Rasmus Højlund. But I'm not accepting 52.2 million, not a chance. I want 85 million for Rasmus. They want 52 with a 6%, not a chance. We're going to up it back up to 85 mil. They're going to offer 69.7. I'll lower it a little bit. I'll lower it a little bit to 75 million. Will they go for it? They will. It's sad to say, but Rasmus, you are out of the club, mate. Another offer has come in, this time for Diogo Dalot for 12.4 million and a player swap with Rafa. Now, I am negotiating this. I don't want Rafa. Rafa would be no help to my team whatsoever. So we're going to offer 56, oh no, even higher, 65 million. And we're going to remove the player exchange. 65 million. They're going to offer up 22 million and another player, but again, don't want no player swaps. I'm going to go back to 65 million. And they accept it. Diogo Dalot is off to Benfica. We are now going to have a look at bringing in our next player. This is going to be Victor Osimhen, a man who has been on many Man United rebuilds I've seen. But we're going to offer 93.5 mil, but they want a sell-on clause. Let's go for 94.9. And that is probably the quickest negotiations I've ever seen. Done instantly. Wow. Our next transfer is for Casemiro, deadline day deal in fact, to go to Chelsea for 60.3 million. I want at least 80 million. And it's done instantly. Okay, scratch what I said about Osimhen. That is the quickest negotiations in the world. So, to replace Casemiro's exit, we're looking at a player from Newcastle called Bruno Guimaraes. We're going to offer 82 million. They want an extra 20 on that. Well, it's way too high for me. I'm going to lower that down to 82.5 million. They want 87.5. I reckon we can get a little bit lower than that. We're going to offer 83.5. And it's a done deal. Bruno Guimaraes joins United on deadline day. We are making another deadline day signing. This is Pablo Gavi from Barcelona. We are going to offer 62 million for the guy. And they accept it instantly. Bloody hell, everyone seems to be wanting their money in at the minute. Bloody hell. We are making another deadline day signing. This time it is a centre-back, Eder Militao from Real Madrid. We're going to offer 96 million. They want 102. We are going to lower that back to 92.4. They want 108 million. That doesn't seem like a bad offer to me, so I'm going to accept that offer. Eder Militao joins the club on deadline day. Right, so that is the August transfer window done. I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the first season. I'm going to sim it to January. I'm going to carry on making some transfers, getting rid of some people, and then we will simulate the rest of the season, and you get the drill. Yep. So I'll see you all in January. Right, so we are in January. Let's see how we are getting on in all our competitions. We are currently second in the Premier League, a lot better than we were doing last year. We are 3 points behind Arsenal and only 1 point ahead of Spurs, but still, second place is good. Let's take a look at the FA Cup next. We have Cardiff in round 3. We haven't yet played a game. The semi-finals of we are out of the Carabao Cup, it seems. We went out to... Who did we go out? We went out to Hull City in round 3, 2-1. Cracking start. Liverpool won the Super Cup this year. Champions League, we're obviously not in it, but Villa against PSG though, that's a thing. Let's head over to us though. We made it to the Conference League. We finished top of the group with 13 points. Who do we play? Oh, we've got to go for the preliminary rounds first. Okay, so we won't know who we have to play yet. We'll find out soon enough. We are already kicking off this January window with a deal for Diogo Dalot for 49.2 million. So obviously he's still here, so the Benfica deal did fall through unfortunately. But we're going to try and sell him again here for 67.2. They're sticking to their guns at 49.2. Let's lower it down a little bit to the same as what Benfica paid actually, to 65 million. And Arsenal accept it. Diogo Dalot is on his way to Arsenal in the January window. We have an offer come in for Anthony Dos Santos for Arsenal for well, no, it wasn't Arsenal. Nottingham Forest for, I think it was about 41 million. I'm going to try and get at least some close to 50. We sell him for 49 million. That's fine with me. Anthony was just riding the bench anyway. With Anthony being sold, it means we have the money to buy a new right back under Jeremy Frimpong, currently having the season of a lifetime over at Leverkusen. But we're going to try and bring him over to United. We're going to offer 92.5 million. They want 104. We're going to lower that. Not a chance. Let's go for 95 million. And it's a done deal. Jeremy Frimpong joins United. Right, so we have made it to the end of the January transfer window. It was obviously, well, clearly another small window for us. We only brought in Frimpong and we let Anthony go. I didn't get any footage of it because I forgot to record it at the time, but I did let Donny van de Beek go for £14.9 million, so that ups the budget a bit. But I'm now going to simulate the rest of the season again, and we are going to see how we end up at the end. So, see you at the end of the season. Right, so we have made it to the end of the season. It is time to have a look to see where we left off. We actually made it to the final of the Europa Conference League. We got a match against Lyon in a couple of days' time. Let's have a look at who. It's a PSG Man City final in the Champions League, and a Bayern Munich Napoli in the Europa League. These are some good finals. Fortunately, Liverpool do win the Carabao Cup, and it's Liverpool versus Southampton in the FA Cup final. We finished second, 10 points behind. Tottenham finally win a trophy. Can you believe it? Right, so it's a couple of days later. I completely forgot to record at the time because I was playing the game. But we did win the Europa Conference League. We won it 4-3 against Lyon. I did play the game and accidentally forgot to record it. But yeah, we did win the Conference League, so that's one trophy under our belts. Right, it is time to end the season. We have all our, as you can see in the top right, we have all our, well, you won't be able to see it behind me, but all our players are coming back from loan. Players like Brandon Williams, Shayla Charretier, Charlie McNeil, Kobe Mainu, I forgot I loaned out actually, and the load of our youth players. But yeah, it's time to move on to the third and final season of the video. As you can see, expected. We're hoping. Oh, there's a good thing. Okay, they're keeping me on. Right, to the third and final season we go. Right, so we're in the third season, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change Jeremy Frimpong development plan, turn it from a right wing back to just a standard right back. Because every time I put him at right back, he drops some rating. It's going to take 125 weeks to do that. He's moving like an inch back the pitch. Oh, bloody hell. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the starting team for the season. I'm going to see where we can make some improvements. I don't think we need a lot of improvements going on. Simmons, Osimhen, Vinicius Jr. up top. Guimaraes, Fernandes, Camavinga, Field, Frimpong, Balde, Tamori, and who's my left back? No, Militao at centre back. We're also going to start loan listing a load of players who won't get much game time under me this season. So players like Brandon Williams, William Fish. Oh, he's on the transfer list. I don't know why he's there. Willy Krambala as well. Just all the players that won't get much game time under me. Right, so an offer has come in for Pablo Gavi for 52.7 million to go to Spurs. Now, I know I only signed him last, I think it was January I signed him. But he just isn't getting a lot of game time under me, so it's only fair that I let him go. For 68.5 million it seems, so Pablo Gavi's on his way to Spurs. Right, we are going to make our first signing of the season, and it is going to be Pedri from Barcelona for 109 million. They want 116. We won't be paying that. We can up ours a little bit though to 110. And for 110 million, we sign Pedri from Barcelona. We are going to make another two signings. First one is Lewis Miley. Originally at Newcastle, he now plays for Tottenham for 8.6 million. This is more thinking about the bench, but we're also going to try and sign Bellingham, Joe Bellingham. Unfortunately, Unfortunately not Jude Bellingham, but again for our reserves, because with the amount of players we have out going on loan, we need to start thinking about injury stuff. So Job Bellingham for 3.2 million, and Lewis Miley for, I think it was 8.6 or something like that. But yeah, both of them have signed for the club. We have had another offer come in, this time for Mason Mount for 41.7 million to go to Atletico Madrid. Now, I am willing to sell Mason Mount, obviously because we all have all them other star midfielders now, but 41 million is too low. 55.3 million, please. Done deal. I actually quite like Mount. It's actually sad to see him go, especially as he's had such a superb season on the game, not in real life, unfortunately. Yeah, Mason Mount is out of the club. And to replace Mason Mount's exit, we are looking at Nikolai Barella. In real life, he plays at Inter Milan, but in the game, he's transferred over to PSG. We're going to offer him 83 mil, but they want to do a player swap with Xavi Simons, which I'm not having. Xavi Simons is my left winger. But in the end, we do sign him. So Nikolai Barella is joining our club. Right, so we have made it to the end of the August transfer window. We didn't make any more signings after the Barella, and no one else left. But we're now going to sim it to January and do the January transfer window, and we're going to see where we end up there. So, see you in January. Right, so we have made it to January. Time to see how we are doing. We are currently joint first. Well, no, not joint first on points in the Premier League with Everton of all teams. Well, at least we're first then. In the FA Cup, we drew Man City. I believe we are going to struggle with that one. The Carabao Cup, we did not get to the semis. We didn't even get the quarters. Did we go out round 3 again? Where did we go out? Lost 5-4 on penalties to Newcastle. Okay, penalties isn't a bad loss, but Newcastle's a team we should be beating. I mean, come on. Champions League, however, I forgot to look at that. Champions League. PSG win the Super Cup. We face AC Milan in the round of 16 after coming second in our group with 8 points, falling behind Leverkusen. We've had an offer come in from Nottingham Forest for Alejandro Garnacho for 20 mil. Now, Garnacho doesn't play a lot under me, so I am going to look to sell him. I'm going to ask for 25 mil, however. They will offer a sell-on clause in 20.8. I'm getting back up to 25 mil, though. 23.1 isn't bad. Can I get a little bit more out? Let's go for 24.4. And he is sold. He joins Anthony at going to Nottingham Forest. We are looking at replacing Garnacho, this time with Moussa Diaby from Aston Villa. I've offered him just short of 70 mil, but they want about 85. But I'm not paying that. I'm going to go for 68.9, which they accept. Deal done. Moussa Diaby is joining Man United. We are reaching the end of the January transfer window. Only one player leaving and one player joining, being Garnacho and Diaby. But again, I'm going to simulate to the end of the season, and we're going to see where we finish, hopefully with a few trophies. We have made it to the end of the season. It's time to see where we ended up. And we actually won the Premier League, 85 points. That is one thing ticked off the checklist. In the FA Cup, we beat Southampton 4-2 and then lost to Liverpool 2-1. So, big surprise there. Man City win the Carabao Cup. Wait, when did we go out? Oh, it was to Newcastle on penalty. Yeah, we already knew about that one. PSG won the Super Cup. Where did we do Man City PSG? So we lost 3-2 in the semi-finals on aggregate. So that's a bit of a shame. Liverpool Feyenoord in the Europa League, and was it Sporting and someone else in the Conference League final? I didn't see the team in time. But we actually won the Premier League, so not a bad season. It is time to celebrate our Premier League win by having the bus travel through the city of Manchester. Look at the team there and the Premier League title on the bus. Who's going to lift it? It should be Bruno, the captain. There he is, look, Bruno, Ozyman and me, all having the party of a lifetime. All the fans going crazy as well. Come on. There's Vinny. I'll tell you what, it's a decent squad we built. There we go, Premier League lifted. Right, it is time to review our career at United. Let's start with the highs. We won the Conference League, we won the Premier League in our last season, and we built probably the most insane team I've ever built on a career mode ever. I won't lie, I tried to keep it as realistic as possible, but as soon as we signed Vinicius Jr., that went out the window. The negatives, we unfortunately didn't win an FA Cup, or a Champions League, or even a Carabao Cup for that matter. But I still think this career was a success. We restored some glory to Man United after a disappointing season in real life. That being said though, if you have enjoyed this video and want to see more, please drop a like, comment and subscribe, and also comment the next team you want to see me rebuild. But yeah, thank you very much you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye. With